Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are reviewing a Tarte eyeshadow palette. It has been, I don't even remember how many years since I reviewed a Tarte palette here on my channel. However, I feel like this one maybe deserves it. Of course, as you saw in the title, we are talking about the Tarte Maneater palette. This one I went in to see at my local Ulta the other day to see whether or not it was that pretty in person, and I have to say I think it looks even prettier in person than it did on the online pictures that I had seen. So it came home with me. In today's video we are going to swatch it. I'm going to do a couple of eye looks with it. We're going to see whether or not the Tarte formula has improved at all throughout the years, because like I said, it has been a long time since I reviewed Tarte right here on my channel, and I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on this fall release. Tarte had a very similar looking palette last year around the same time. It might have even been called Maneater as well. I don't recall. And I didn't grab that one, and I feel like I missed out on it. A few of you guys asked me why I didn't grab it. You wanted to see my review on it, and so this year I decided we are going to grab it. We are going to review it, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the color story and the formula. Here is the outside packaging of this palette, which I thought was kind of cool. It has a matte plastic packaging with a beautiful beet purple color to it and shiny sheer prints on top. The back of it is plastic rose gold, the ones that really show your fingerprints. And once you open it, take a look right here at what the palette looks like. Like I said, it is much more prettier in person than I saw online. It also has this huge mirror right over here on this side. From the looks of it, it has a beautiful combination of matte shades and shimmer shades. Some of the shimmer shades look a bit more sparklier, a little bit more shiny than others. And I also thought it has a really stunning combination of neutral colors with some pops. I'm excited about these mattes back here. This blue shade looks beautiful, and this looks like a perfect inner corner shade. I cannot wait to dig in. It's not just called the Maneater palette, by the way. It's called the Maneater Nightfall eyeshadow palette. I think Maneater on its own was last year's palette, and this palette retails for $52. The stamping on some of the shimmer shades is so pretty. I don't want to touch it, but I have to. Let's go ahead and go for the swatches. Here are the first four shades. We have Fascinate, we have Sly, we have Catnap, and we have Mischief. Mischief is a really pretty warm shimmer. Last two from the first row are Smolder and Alpha, which Alpha is a matte shade with a sprinkle of shimmer. On row number two, we have Desirable, which is a beautiful, warm, light gold. We have the shade Pamper. We have Frisky, and the color Ferocious, which is a neutral, medium matte brown. Last two shades are Minx and the color Tease. This one is called Tease down here. So take a look at the first two rows of this palette swatched. I'm going to do the rest of my swatches on my other hand. First four colors of row number 3. Pounds is this grayish light matte color. Then we have 9 Lives, which is a light blue shade. The color Nightfall is this beautiful dark gray color with sparkles. And then we have the color Intrigue, which is a pewter silvery type shade. The last two of row 3 are Wild and Captivate actually, right here. And then the first two of row 4 are Paws Off, which is a very light neutral beigey type color, and the color Sizzle down here. And then the last four colors, which I think these two here are so fun. Anyways, we have Vixen, we have Passionate, Mysterious, lastly the color After Dark right here. Now that the whole thing is swatched, take a look right here at the swatches of this palette. The shades don't seem overly powdery, which is something that I was scared about because I think Tarte used to be very powdery. And majority of the shimmers swatched really beautifully and buttery. The mattes feel maybe a little bit dry. In particular, the dark matte colors like this one, that one, and these right here, I wish that they felt a little bit creamier in the formulation. I'm curious to see where this palette is made. I have not purchased a Tarte eyeshadow palette in a very long time, so I don't know where they usually are made anymore. This palette says it has a 12-month shelf life and it is made in Taiwan. I don't think I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes made in Taiwan, so I wouldn't even know what to reference. We've seen the swatches, I've given you the information on the palette. Let's create a couple different eye looks. I think I'm mostly nervous about the matte shades. I'm going to start with the color Catnap up here, and this is a Sigma E28 brush. I'm going to pat the shade all throughout the crease of my eye right here, back and forth first. And then I'm going to start blending the upper edge of this color into my skin color. I'm adding a little bit more onto the outer corner, just tapping it in place first, and then once again just blending the upper edge up here. I want to deepen things up a bit, so I'm going to grab a bit of the color Passionate, and I'm using the same brush, I guess. I'm just going to pat Passionate on the outer V of the eye and then slowly start blending it into my crease shade. So far I think the matte formulas are blending out nicely, but they also kind of go away fast. So I'm going to grab some more of the color Passionate on a refer number 1 this time, and I'm just going to pat it on the outer corner and hope that it stays there, and then pat it into the crease as well. I switched my brush again because I just want to build it to like the intensity that it has in the pan, and it's taken me a bit to build it all the way to that color, but I think we're getting there. This is a Sigma E27. I wanted something a little bit denser to see if I could get there. I'm happier with this level of intensity, so let me just re-blend the upper side of the crease up here. In the center of the eyelid, I'm going to use the shade Intrigue, and I'm applying it with the tip of my finger right here through the center and into my matte color. A little bit more up here just to define the crease a bit, and as you can see we got a little bit of fallout. On the inner corner of the eye I was debating between Sizzle and this one here. I think actually no, I'm going to go into the color Pamper. Wait, no. Okay, just kidding. I want to do this gold right here because I really loved this gold when I swatched it. I need to clean my brush, hold on. E57 and the color Desirable, which is that gold shade I was referring to. And I am doing the inner third of my eyelid with it. A little bit on the inner corner as well. And I'm defining my crease right here. That looks really pretty. I knew I was going to like that gold shade. For the under eyes, I could use the same colors as I did on the crease and outer corner, but I want to switch to other colors just so that I can use as many shades as possible. So I'm going to go for the shade Tease back here, refer number 3, and I am wiggling that shade in between my lower lashes all the way to my tear duct area, starting on the outer corner and moving in. And to smoke that out, I'm going to use this shade down here. It's called Pause Off, and I'm using it with a refer number 13 brush, just blending out that lower lash line. I'm putting a burgundy eyeliner in the waterline. This one is from Il Maquillage when they collaborated with Kathleen Lights. And so before I do any mascara or lashes, this right here is the finished look. Let's move on to the second look, which is going to be very different from this one. I'm not going to do a neutral look with this palette. I'm trying to test out the vibrant, colorful shades. So for this look, I plan to use these colors back here. Wish me luck. I'm going to start with the shade Pause Off. This is a refer number 15. And I'm going to blend it all across my crease over on this eye, adding a little bit more as I go. And I'm pretty nervous about the dark, colorful shades, so I'm just going to go for it. This is the color Captivate on a reference number 1, and I'm adding it to the outer third of the crease of the eye. I feel like that blended out kind of muddy looking, right? Like it's not green, it just kind of looks grayish muddy. A little bit more. I'm not quitting. I'm just going to tap it to build up intensity. Just packing that color on the outer third of my eye back here. And back with the reference number 15, I'm continuing to blend any edges that I see. Okay, I feel like after building up intensity quite a bit, we are maybe getting somewhere. We'll see. With the Sigma E27, I'm going to get the color After Dark, which is the dark matte blue shade. And I want to add it onto the outer corner of my eyelid back here and blend it into the green, packing that shade on. I think with this formula, packing works better than blending because when you blend, things go a little muddy. So I am packing my color back here. At least this one kind of does look blue. The other one didn't look green, which might not be a bad thing because then it would have been too many colors. Anyways, this is what it looks like. I'm not impressed with these mattes, as you can see. Maybe the shimmers will fix this. This right here is the color Mysterious, and I'm going to pack it onto the outer half of my eyelid back here, blending it into my matte blue shade, just like so. Okay, that's looking a little better. Let me see, what color do I want to do next? I'm in between Wild and Nine Lives. I think I'm going to do Wild. So let me just pack it on with my finger on the edge of the previous shimmer. With the reference number 28, I'm grabbing some more of that color and working it in. And then with the reference number 28 as well, the color Fascinate. And this is going to be the inner corner color, and I'm also going to blend it in on the inner half of the crease of the eye, just like this, to define my eyelid a little higher than where my eye actually falls. I messed up my concealer right here with some blue fallout, which is not great. And I think in the middle of the color Wild and Mysterious, I'm going to add this color right here, which is called Nightfall, right in the center. Because why not? I already don't love this look, so if I mess it up even more, it's fine. Okay, so that is what that looks like right there. I'm going to blend the color After Dark in between my lower lashes with a reference number 3. Just back and forth, adding that color on down here. And I'm going to further diffuse it with the shade Pause Off on a reference number 13. When I tell you the fallout is real, like I have a ring of fallout underneath my eye. It is very obvious. I'm going to take my concealer off from under this eye and I'm going to fix it. Anyways, I added a blue eyeliner to my waterline. This one is from Glossier in the shade La Peace. I'm fixing my concealer on this eye. Okay, my concealer is fixed, and this right here is my second look with this Maneater Nightfall palette. As you saw, I had some troubles and some difficulties with this palette. So let me go ahead and finish my makeup, and I'm going to be back to give you my final thoughts on this new Tarte eyeshadow release. I'm back. As you can see, I added some mascara and some lashes. I also finished up the rest of my face. If you are curious about anything I'm wearing, definitely check out the description box down below for the list of products and the links. And let me tell you guys my final thoughts on this Tarte Maneater palette right here. I think one of the main reasons I decided to go for this one is because I felt like it was pretty hyped up last year, and so I truly thought that there was going to be something special about this one. I think I heard last year's palette sold out, and so I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity of reviewing this one for you, but all I can say is I don't get it. Let me know if you think last year's palette was better than this one, because while I honestly thought that the color story of this palette was pretty great, I'm not impressed with the formulation of the shadows in here. The shimmers are okay, the shimmers are nice. However, the mattes I feel like left a lot to be desired. When using the matte light shades like these and that one, they kind of disappear into the abyss at first, and you have to keep building them and building them in order to get them to look at the very least how they look on the pan. And then when it came to the colorful matte shades, which I was definitely very interested in using because they're like the nice shades in this palette, everybody has the neutral mattes somewhere in their collection. What was special about this one is that the color story is actually a bit different, a little bit interesting, and so I was very disappointed to see how muddy these shades right here were. Eventually I feel like I added enough color that I got a result that is okay, but it took a lot of building and blending in order to get this eye look to the way it looks, and I'm still not like 100% convinced in the way everything looks blended. I still feel like this upper part of the crease right here looks a bit on the muddy side. I was very disappointed with the shade Captivate. It didn't ever look green. It just never looked green. It looked like a muddy mess. I think putting this one on top of it and really going back to build it a bunch of times helped to kind of have some sort of definition when it came to this eye look right here. But overall, I'm just not impressed with the formulas of the matte shades in this palette. This is also not a super affordable palette. I paid more than $50 for it. So it's not a palette that was priced at a ColourPop price point where if 2 or 3 shades don't perform the best, it's okay. You know, like I feel like this all should have performed well, and it didn't. And it's honestly giving cheap formulation. It's giving I only care about the profit. Like, I don't know, I feel like the formulas could be so much better than they are. There's definitely better formulas out there. Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath. I know regular price Pat McGrath is like much more expensive, but if you compare this to like Pat McGrath holiday palette last year, I think you were able to get the holiday palette on sale for even cheaper than this is retailing right now. And that holiday palette from Pat McGrath has beautiful colors with beautiful formulations, super creamy and luxurious. For those of you who maybe don't know, this is what I'm talking about right here. Take a look at these color stories side by side. The Pat McGrath one is a bit more interesting and it has far better formulas. This holiday palette, when it came out, I think was $78, but then you were able to buy it in a couple of months for 30% off, which is probably around the price that this one is right now. And like I said, I'm not impressed with the formulas that this palette has. So if you had last year's palette and it was better than what I'm experiencing right now, please let me know down in the comment section. I would love to know that at least last year's palette was better, because like I said, I don't know, this is just okay. I think for the quality of these shadows, this would be fairly priced at like $35 to $40, and I know it's a big palette, but still $35 to $40 would be a much more fair price for this quality of eyeshadows than over $50. So there you have it. That is my opinion on the new Maneater Nightfall palette. I would say don't fall for it, and or just wait till it goes on sale, like a very good sale, at least 30% off. I think at 30% off maybe this would be worth it, but at full price I just don't recommend it. There is just much better palettes out there with much better formulas, and overall I'm just kind of disappointed. So that is all I have for you guys in today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.